Benazir first term was from 1st December 1988 to 6th August 1990. This was the first term of Benazir and the second term of Pakistan People's Party. The first term of Benazir is a turning point in the political history of Pakistan because this period came after a long regime or a long military regime that ended in 1988 after the death of Ziaul Haq. After the death of Ziaul Haq, party-based elections were held in Pakistan, and the elections 1988 gave, although a divided verdict, but People's Party emerged as the largest party, and with the help of MQM and JUIF and some independents, they were able to make government. The government could not complete their tenure. It was lasted by 6th August 1990 when uh, Benazir was dismissed by the then President Ishaq Khan using his powers under Article number 58(2)(b). The elections 1988 gave a divided verdict or divided house. People's Party got 93 seats and emerged as the largest party in the house, although they didn't have the two-third majority to make a solo government. The total number of general seats in house were 207. Out of these 207, People's Party got 93 seats. IJI, Islami Jamhuri Ittihad, got 55 seats, MQM 13, JUIF got 7, and independents got 27. So in this way, the house was divided. The polls gave a divided verdict, and no party had clear or simply two-third majority to form a government by their own. And the house was divided, although the People's Party was the largest party in the house. After elections, just after elections, the leader of IGI, Nawaz Sharif, had also vowed to make government. So seemed really difficult that how could Nawaz Sharif make government with just 55 seats. Perhaps he was relying on president that he will maneuver something in his favor and do something for him so he could be able to make government by making coalition with some other parties and independents. But president didn't help Nawaz Sharif in making government in center, since president had done already enough to IGI. He had helped them to win elections in Punjab and make their government there. Now he had some other dreams as well. Anyhow, in the process of nomination of prime minister, in the power equation, the powers of president were the most dominant, since the crucial factor in the power equation was the power of president to nominate prime minister. Under original plan, according to the constitution, prime minister was to be elected in its first session just after electing speaker and deputy speaker. However, the RCO amended the constitution, and the president was empowered to appoint at his discretion any member of National Assembly as prime minister who was in his opinion, command the confidence of National Assembly according to the article number 91(2). So according to the article number 91(2), through through an amendment in the constitution, that was RCO, which was done during the period of Ziaul Haq, the president had the power to nominate any member of National Assembly who in his opinion believed that he command the majority or majority confidence of the National Assembly. Uh, However, through 8th Amendment, this power was limited to 5 years according to the article number 91(2)(a). according to the article number 91(2)(a), the power of president to nominate the prime minister was restricted to just 5 years. So this power was with president till 1990. So in 1988, the president had the power to nominate any member of National Assembly as president whom he believed that had the confidence of the House. However, uh, Prime Minister had to take vote of confidence from the same assembly within 60 days according to the article number 91(3). Although the Prime Minister was bound to take vote of confidence from the House within 60 days, however, still the power to nominate Prime Minister was with President, so President was the most powerful stakeholder in nominating Prime Minister. IGI was counting on President that he would do something for them to get to premiership, but Ishaq had his own plans. Since Ishaq was not a permanent president at that time, he was an acting president, and he was uh, dreaming and he was willing to become a permanent president for coming 5 years. And he knew that IGI was with him since he had done enough for them in Punjab, paving the way for Nawaz Sharif to become the Chief Minister of Punjab, and uh, IGI was a product of establishment. So Isaac believed that IGI was in his pocket. Now he had to take confidence of People's Party to become the president for coming 5 years. So he contacted Benazir and mm, inform her that if Benazir is going to support him in presidential elections, then Ishaq will nominate Benazir. Benazir accepted that, and Ishaq nominated Benazir as the prime minister. When Benazir was nominated as the prime minister, now Benazir had her own reasons to seek power. Benazir got two types of suggestions at that time. The first suggestion was not to compromise and to wait for a proper time to get into good government, since she was just 35 years and she could abate her time, and the conditions, the political conditions at that time were again not that much favorable. She knew that in Punjab she had to face a strong opposition from the Punjab government led by Nawaz Sharif, who was a strong opponent of Benazir. And in House, they in National Assembly they don't have simple majority, and uh, and to get to the premiership they had to make some compromises with the President Ishaq as well. So keeping all those things, some circles in People's Party were suggesting that they should not compromise with Ishaq and don't choose to accept the premiership. And another suggestion was also there when the people were suggesting to compromise with Ishaq and seek premiership, since the workers of People's Party had suffered for a long time during Zia's period, and to heal those dents they were in a craze in a craze to get into the government so that they could be able to heal the dent that they received during Zia's period. Benazir opted to the second suggestion and uh, accepted to compromise with Ishaq. Now, when Benazir was nominated as the prime minister, she had two major challenges at the beginning. She had to make an alliance with MQM and JUIF because she could not make government alone. She needed the assistance of MQM and JUIF. So she made an alliance with them. And the next challenge for her was to support Ishaq in presidential elections. since in presidential elections, Nawabzada Nasrullah was also a candidate. Nawabzada's party was a constituent of MRD during Zia's period, uh, and they were old allies of People's Party. Uh, to get to the government, Benazir and her party had to betray their old ally in favor of a bureaucrat. So they decided to support Ishaq instead of Nawabzada Nasrullah Khan when they make alliance with MQM and JUIF and decided to support Ishaq in presidential election. Benazir was appointed as a prime minister on 1st December 1988. Now the now, the appointment of Benazir as the Prime Minister on 1st December 1988 was a landmark in the history of Pakistan, because this was the first time a female was nominated and appointed as the Prime Minister of Pakistan. And this was not only in Pakistan but rather in entire Muslim world. Benazir, who became the first Muslim woman prime minister, this moment was a historic moment. Thank you for joining. Take care. Goodbye.